And also, okay, well, really quick, and that was all based on purely aesthetic. I also don't think it's inspiring anybody. Which is what I heavily grade this on.
I cannot believe we're talking about how inspiring
This was
facial hair
all
is.
the back door to talk about how inspiring my mustache is.
You're just like, all right, hit me with it. How inspiring is my facial hair?
Disturbing the peace with some peace of mind. Sleeping in jeans, I'ma need a night. OD on the cheap advice. OC on the cheapest flight. Lately I've been on the move trying to get to something. But I told her I've been running just to see the sights.
Dude, let me tell you what, okay? I am in the mood to have the best podcast ever. So last week, I just did, I didn't really have my setup very well. And this week it's not very good either. But it's hilarious because I was like, I really need some better natural light. And I was sitting right there, and I forgot I have the one window in my basement is right here. So I set up in front of the window. I got a view of a tree, which is putting me in a good mood, and I'm just ready.
Nice. Yeah, it looks completely different than last week, and you look completely different than last week. So I guess we are set to have a great podcast.
Right on. Yeah, last week was I was humiliated by how bad my shot looked last week. Which, by the way, another thing, I uploaded the shot to Google Drive instantly. I was like, I'm such a good boy, and then I never shared the link with you.
Sick. Well, you're in luck because I wouldn't have done anything with it because it was a catastrophic tech week for me. I have got nothing, no actual work done this week because I'll make this as unboring as possible and concise as possible.
Good luck.
Because basically I edit my videos on a fake Mac. It's a Hackintosh. And I tried updating it because all of the Adobe programs are starting to not be supported on Mac Catalina. So anyway, long story short, I tried to update from Catalina to whatever's better than that, and it just bricked everything.
No. Oh no.
Yeah, my computer just became a brick, and I've basically spent all week trying to fix it. So yeah, unfortunately, that is my excuse this week for why this podcast still doesn't exist.
Well, you can't say you didn't work this week because you uploaded this week.
That's true. And that was, I think that was the start of it being cursed.
Oh.
Because I was up until 4 a.m. on Sunday night trying to finish my YouTube video because Monday was Halloween and I had to finish my video by Halloween. And I was up until 4 a.m. trying to finish it, and by that point I was so delusional that I couldn't tell if the color grade was looking good or not. I was like, this is stupid. I'm gonna hate this because I'm gonna wake up in the morning and be like, what was I thinking in my delusional state at 4 a.m. with that color grade? So then I tried to work on it first thing Monday morning to get it color graded and uploaded. And then the export took a good literally 4 or 5 hours to export, and I don't know why.
Whoa, and that was on the Hackintosh.
No, that was on my... Wait, it was on both.
Really?
I tried it. Yeah, and it's your fault, actually, it turns out.
All right.
because I was talking with Shaffer about this one effect that I really liked, and you suspected it was...
Channel blur.
So I added channel blur, and it does look sick. It's exactly what I was hoping for, but it turns out it requires the most computing power ever to export.
Dang.
So I think that's what made it take 5 hours to export, because then I went down to my Hackintosh while my MacBook was exporting, and I went to my Hackintosh and I turned off channel blur, and it exported in 20 minutes.
Dang. Wow, I'm so sorry. But I'm also not sorry because I told you it was channel blur. And you're like, are you sure? I'm like, pretty sure.
Well, I'm glad you told me about it. But It's definitely your fault that everything was bricked this week.
Rats, dude, I broke everything.
Yeah, pretty much.
Shoot, dude. Well,
So yeah, that's my.
at the end of the day, yeah, that YouTube video was awesome. I was like, you must have been working on it on Halloween because I kept refreshing my computer and seeing like, where's Jay? He said he was uploading
he
today.
said it was
and then
done.
it went up at like 4 o'clock on Halloween or something.
Yeah, probably something like that.
Yeah. Well, it was
Yeah.
awesome. It was one of my favorite of your video. I sent Jake a text and I said, that was one of my favorite uploads you've had this year. Even though it doesn't have a lot of competition, you've only uploaded like twice.
God, yeah. It's so funny. I think I make a goal every year for how many uploads I'm going to do. And every year, I think I set the bar lower and lower. I'm like, I just got to get like 20 videos out this year. And then every year, I don't make that goal. This year, I think I've uploaded like 8 videos or something like that.
Next year, you're going to be like, if I could just get one in the next 2 years.
Yeah,
That would be
seriously.
prime. Dude, some people do that though. Like some channels, I don't know how it works, but some channels I feel like will upload like one 15-minute video every 3 months. And it'll like
Yeah.
blow up every time.
Yeah,
And I don't know how that
seriously.
works, but
Me neither. It's amazing. On that note, welcome back to Friends with Benedicts.
we're back.
Breakfast around the world. Did we even start yet?
Hell
Last
yeah,
week we
did.
talked about if we just start right off the back or if we talk a little bit before we start. But I guess we've started.
I say we might as well have started. I don't know how this works. This is a work in
Yeah.
progress.
Yeah.
Leonardo DiCaprio or Da Vinci famously said, "I'm still learning."
Of course. I also still have a cough.
Yeah, I noticed.
I think I'm plagued for the rest of my life now.
That's so sad. That's
Yeah.
horrible for podcast starting.
I know. So yeah, since it was basically tech support week for me, I didn't do a ton of the old notebook brainstorming.
Whoa, dang.
But I do have some ideas. I don't know if you got any topics you'd like to hit on.
Well, the last week we did Shaffer's YouTube picks, so this week I did pay attention to what I was
Oh, good.
watching, and I do have a YouTube pick, so we can get to that. And then also open to critique on this idea, but because to celebrate my mustache, I was thinking we could do YouTuber facial hair tier list.
Oh wow, I like that.
Okay, so those
Yeah.
were my 2 things.
Dude, sick. I like it. I think we're gonna need if this continues, we're gonna need a little jingle for Schaefer's YouTube picks.
Yeah.
Or just weekly inspiration pick. Doesn't even have to be YouTube.
Yeah, that's true. The 9 Club gets their audience to do all the heavy lifting. They're just like, make a jingle, and then the audience.
Oh
makes it.
wow.
So, yeah. So maybe if
Hell
we
yeah.
upload one of these, we'll get far enough to the point.
Maybe if this podcast exists at some point, there will be someone listening who can make a jingle for Schaefer's weekly.
That would
pick.
be super clutch because I don't think I'm gonna make it.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. That's kind of an interesting, like, quick aside because now I feel like I have a bunch I want to talk about.
Yeah, that's good.
Because of your ideas. But like, as a quick aside, how do you decide when something is worth your time and not worth it? Because like, I was working on this stupid Hackintosh problem all week, and I was like, at what point do I just buy a new MacBook and realize that this is obliterating my week and just get something where I can spend my time wisely? Or like, similarly, I often think maybe I should learn music production because I have a lot of, music background growing up. So I was like, maybe I should learn music production software and try to score my own stuff for films. But then I have the same thought of like, how worth it is that when what I actually care about is the filmmaking side of it?
Yeah.
Oh man, quick aside. you freaking.
This is a
I
sub
wouldn't say
aside.
scored, but yeah.
It's like when
Shaffer.
it's like in a chapter of a book when they do like a earlier that day story in the same chapter that takes place like.
Yeah, I was just gonna say Shaffer performed his own music in his YouTube video this week, and that was, dude, that gave me chills.
Dang, I don't know how bad I want to talk about me singing. It was so hard, dude. I can't tell you how hard it was. Like,
that's what made it so good, because the video was about fear, and so you like overcoming this fear in your video, but also having it be you performing music that scored your video. Oh man, it was genius. It was like,
thank you.
Yeah,
I feel like that's one of those ones that's highly subject to getting pulled off the internet.
No. God, Shaffer has a deep history of deleting YouTube videos, and it's tragic because a lot of them will be like ones that I would return to over and over for inspiration in the feels, and then I'd go back and they're just gone. They're just nuked. And so
I had this conversation with Nathaniel Drew because I told him I do that. I was like, oh yeah, like I had a whole. He was like, how'd you get so good? You only have like this many videos on your channel. And I was like, oh, I had a whole channel before this. I've been doing this for. And he's like, oh, where's that channel? I was like, gone. And he was like, he's like, unlisted. I'm like, no, gone. It is gone. And he couldn't believe it either. But man, that's a whole nother topic. Probably something I'll do a video about at some point. But it's not because of, I mean, I think back in the day it was, but now it's not necessarily so much because of like insecurity or anything. It's more just like, I really like it when things have a shelf life and then they're gone forever. I think that's so cool. I mean, that's why it's like, I mean, it's like a thing, like you got like pop-up restaurants and pop-up art galleries and stuff like that. But for some reason on the internet, It's like forbidden to do a pop-up anything. It's like, it has to stay around forever.
Did you watch Unis Honest at all? Or Unisanis? I don't know how to pronounce it. It was a Markiplier channel. I never watched it, so I don't even actually know what it's about.
Oh, I heard about this. Yeah.
Yeah, he like did it for a year every day or something, and the whole time he was like, on this date, it's all going away.
Yeah.
And everyone was just like, no, like he's not actually going to do it. These videos are getting 6-7 million views. And sure enough, he deleted it. And that's like part of that is the thing that made it so interesting, is like, why are you doing so much work on this if you're just going to delete it?
Yeah, it's got the same energy as like Jesse Driftwood putting a ton of energy into his Instagram stories that just go away after a certain amount of time. And I think it's a really, really cool thing that I think there's an insane amount of power in, and just saying like, because I mean, you take it all for granted, right? It's like whoever your favorite person is to watch, you're like, well, I'll always have this for inspiration, and it's not on you. Like, you don't get to decide that. The person that made it gets to decide. And I just think it's maybe an underutilized option you have as a creative person to just nuke everything.
Yeah, well, it's also made me start downloading certain videos that are like, I gotta have this for future inspiration in case this person takes it down. So
probably not the worst habit to get into anyway.
Yeah, just have like a little collection.
Yeah,
it's like it's like your CD binder of music you love.
Yeah, totally. And it can all burn in a church fire if you're not careful.
Yeah.
I don't know why it's church fire.
But only a church fire. Because that's where I keep my collection of YouTube videos.
Church.
At the local church.
Oh, dude, yeah. Things have changed since you left. That's an inside joke.
Maybe people will get it, maybe they won't. But yeah, so like, now that we've closed all of the sub chapters,
yeah, we got to go back to that.
How do you decide like what's worth your time and what's not? Like, if you want a motion graphic or animation or something, I don't know that either of us are great at outsourcing anything, but
yeah. Good question.
Thanks, Shave.
And now let me hit you with the answer. The tried and true. always right answer. I think it has something to do with... It definitely has something to do with like enjoyment or pursuit of future enjoyment. So like, for example, your computer. Actually, your computer's a tricky one because I would have just given up. I would have given up all video production at that point. But I think it's like it's like for the motion graphics or whatever, right? It's like, am I gonna get enough enjoyment like seeing people watch this video and think, wow, that must have taken a lot of work, and then have it just be this tiny little aside in an overall video? Like, do I get enough of like I guess just like a rush from that as it takes for the work to be done, I guess. And I don't know, you can talk yourself into all sorts of things. Like in my more recent video, I made a puppet IRS letter, and it took forever. It took so long, and I was like, but the whole time I was making it, I was just like, this is going to be great. People are going to eat this up. They're going to love this. And I didn't get one comment on it. Like, no one said anything about it. So I don't know. I feel like it's just a gamble, and I don't think there's a very good answer. But I do think, like, you can, like, you expect you might get some sort of, like, return out of the investment, I guess. And sometimes you do, and sometimes you don't. But it's kind of a gamble.
Yeah, it is such a, like... a non... What word am I trying to think of? It's like a non-quantifiable input.
Yeah.
Like that puppet thing, it's like it aided so well in telling the story that it wasn't the focus of the story. Mm-hmm. So to me, it makes sense that no one would comment on it directly, because I would assume more of the comments were about the bigger idea, because that puppet aided so well in telling the story of the bigger idea. But yeah, I also think it might just be, if humans were on a spectrum of artistic to business, obviously it's not that simple, but creative to logical, something like that.
Yeah. I
would say, like, you and I are definitely closer to the creative side than the business side. Mm-hmm. And if you took someone who was purely business, they'd be like, why are you wasting your time on building a puppet? Just like, just find a faster way to get to the end goal. It would be the business aspect, but then the creative aspect is what makes it more special. And like you said, you have to kind of weigh in the enjoyment you get out of it and how much it'll add to it. I don't know.
Yeah. I wonder what the business guy would say about you working on your computer, you know what I mean? Like if the business guy would be like, oh, just buy a new one.
Yeah. Well, and that's what I was thinking, because, as I was saying that, I was like, well, me wasting time on my Hackintosh isn't creative either.
Yeah.
Maybe in a certain way it is, but yeah, it was totally just personal enjoyment. Like I love that tinkering, building stuff. Yeah. So yeah, there's no business gain out of me messing with a Hackintosh all week long. Yeah. Like the business gain is, buy the MacBook, it's going to be way better than your Hackintosh anyway. Yeah. And then get on with what makes you money, which is making videos. Yeah. But there's definitely part of me that was like, sick, I don't have to do actual work, I get to tinker with the computer.
Yeah, totally. Dude, and then as for like music production stuff, I think like you and I have been the same, where it's always this thing that's like, oh, it'd be so cool to make my own music for a thing. And I think it's just gonna have to happen when I get enjoyment out of it. Because right now, it's always been on the list as something that I want to do, I think would be so cool. But it's not something that I feel like I am able to get in the flow state of, because I don't know like so many different details of it. And I know there's going to have to just be a long period of me like figuring those things out and being willing to like not be good at it for a long time. But once I get to the point where like I know what I'm doing, I know how to record something and make it at least not sound horrible, then I can start like getting into it, and it starts like paying like those imaginary dividends. But right now it's like
Yeah.
I want it, but I don't love doing it. You know what I mean? And so there has to be some
Yeah.
sort of balancing point. Like you don't have to love it all the time, and you don't have to want to do it all the time, but you do have to have both of those things sometimes. And wanting to do it, I just never really want to do it. I just want to have it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, totally. And I think for me too, there's this, like, there's always a feeling of impending doom with your own YouTube channel, or like this lurking feeling of like, I gotta upload or be working on it. So to me, it feels like to entirely shift my focus onto a new craft like music, it's so hard for me to think about, like you're saying, learning all of these intricacies before I can actually be in the flow state. I feel like I would just have this endless anxiety about not working on my YouTube channel and working on music instead.
Yeah, super healthy.
Yeah, it's pretty healthy.
So I think we solved nothing with that whole conversation.
Yeah,
as per usual.
Perfect. Yeah, that's good, because next on the agenda is a very important thing, and that's YouTuber mustache tier list.
Yeah. Okay. So this is gonna be loose because I don't have any of the specific guys really chosen out, and we're gonna have to maybe remember something. Or if you have Notepad, maybe that would be helpful.
I got a notepad.
Because I
I'm
did
gonna write it down.
think of maybe our top contenders, and then feel free to jump in. First, Casey Neistat.
He has facial hair?
Hey, he's on the list. Write it down.
Oh, okay. Does it go S A B C
Yes,
D
A, B,
F?
C, D. Sure.
Okay.
And then we got Matt Diavella. And then we got Peter McKinnon.
Okay.
The Paul brothers.
Paul brothers. Just lumped together.
Yeah. They're the same.
Okay, yeah.
Let's see. Who else did I have? I guess we can do Matty Boya.
Does he? Yeah, he's had.
Yeah, he's got a
facial
beard.
hair on and off.
He always has a beard. He always has a beard.
Oh yeah, he does. Wow, this is weird. I'm having trouble picturing all these people in my head.
Oh,
right
and
now.
then we also got Shaffer Nickel. You can picture that one.
Oh yeah. I can picture that one real good.
Yeah. Jake Fru's on there.
There's one year. I can't think of it. I'm sure it'll come up as we go.
Yeah, I think it will.
So first on the roster.
Do you want me to go worst to best?
I don't think so. I think because we're gonna have different ratings.
Oh, yeah, true. I guess that's the whole point.
I don't know. Let's start with Casey Neistat, because I didn't even know he has facial hair.
Yeah, see, I think he sometimes will have sort of scruff or a beard sometimes if he's sad.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
All right.
This is...
Here's why I think Casey Neistat is in the A tier.
Ooh.
Because, and it actually works really well with what we've talked about, because Casey Neistat, I think, has had a beard. I can remember him having one in the past. Like, not very often, though. And I like it because he has the power of scarcity. Casey Neistat's beard is kind of like a supreme drop. It's like,
wow,
you're lucky if you're like there at the right time. You know what I mean? And then you see it and you're like, whoa, something serious is going on. And then it goes away and then you're like, oh, okay. So I don't know if it's necessarily the best beard, but it has some of the best implications. It puts your brain, so like, it really makes you think. You know what I mean? It's a noodle scratching kind of beard.
Wow. I really should have given my rating before you just perfectly convinced me that he deserves A, because I was going to say D. Because I thought it was just forgettable and I couldn't even think of what he looked like, but yeah,
I don't
you swayed me.
I don't even really think I can remember what it looks like either. I just know I've seen it, and I remember when I saw it, I was like,
it hits hard.
He must be going
Once you
through
see it.
Yeah.
Once you see it, it hits hard.
Yeah, like he's definitely going through something.
Yeah.
My light's kind of going away, so I'm kind of underexposed now, but
Oh, that's okay.
So anyway, yeah,
Well-
Casey Neistat A tier.
Okay. What about the Paul brothers? Greatest boxers of our generation.
True, that is true. Okay. I think I might have my rating.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, maybe we say it at the same time.
Okay.
Okay,
1,
3, 2, 1. C tier.
D.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. C or D. That seems about right. I think I feel like Jake has a beard more often than Logan.
Yeah. But
And
Jake has a real pilgrim beard. And I
Pilgrim
define
beard.
I define pilgrim beard when you can grow the bottom half real thick and then your
Yeah.
mustache is like razor thin.
Ah,
Pilgrim
okay,
beard
yeah.
does not look good on anybody. I am not into pilgrim beard when it's like thick and bushy down here and then nothing on the mustache.
Interesting.
I don't think
Yeah.
the other one is Logan. I don't
Jake
think
Paul's brother.
Yeah, Jake Paul's brother is. I don't think he has much of a pilgrim beard, but the other problem they have is they're both blonde beards and that's hard.
Yeah, especially because blonde mustache is S tier. If someone has a blonde mustache,
good
that's
one.
instant S tier. A good
Yeah.
thick one.
Yeah.
Yeah, a good thick proper blonde mustache is always S tier.
Yeah.
And since neither of them have that,
Yeah.
they just got all of the worst parts of blonde facial hair.
At their worst, blonde facial hair looks like an extension of your face. And it looks like your face just blends into your facial hair and you can't see where the sea ends and the sky begins. And that's
Yeah.
not good.
Yeah. This is really funny doing this only with mental images. Like, we don't have any,
I know.
any
Well,
screen. We're not
I hate it
looking
when
at
the
them.
podcast, like they have like images you can't see
Yeah.
and you're listening to it.
I was
So
going to say,
you're
yeah,
not,
it's perfect.
listener, you're not isolated here.
You're not missing out on anything. This is all in our imagination. So just imagine facial hair with us.
Yes.
Man. So okay. So you said C, I said D.
I think you might have
Yeah.
talked me maybe more into a D tier sort of thing. But
Yeah,
then it's
I
like, well,
think
what's
D-
F tier? I don't even know. Like, if that's not F tier, what's F tier going to be? Casey Neistat somehow got A tier. I don't know what F tier.
Yeah. Okay, we're going D for the Paul brothers because maybe
right.
Jake is a C, but Logan is a D because I
No,
don't-
Jake's the D. Jake has
Jake's the D?
Yes, Jake has pilgrim
I
beard.
think a pilgrim beard is better than just a scruffy, basically non-noticeable blonde scruff.
Okay.
And, like, yes, maybe the pilgrim beard is not great, but
Name one good pilgrim.
I think I think facial hair goes up in ranking when the person with the facial hair is going bald. And Jake Paul
Yeah.
is going bald, so that kind of makes his facial hair even cooler.
Oh.
So I think he's a C, Logan's a D, so with their powers combined,
Can we just put
they're
them both
an
in
F.
D then? Because I really don't think. If I was going to put anyone in D, it would be Jake. So I volunteer Jake for D. You volunteer Logan for D.
So they're F. With both of their D's combined, that makes them F.
But then you also have Jake as a C and I have Logan as a C, so it kind of balances out, which is why I think they should just both go in D.
D. Okay. Fine. The
And
Paul
now,
Bros.
okay, because now I think that's a really good transition into Peter McKinnon because you're saying scruffy, like patchy, blonde is bad. What do you think of scruffy, patchy, dark beard, but it's on the coolest guy?
Man, yeah. This is a very unbiased review, obviously.
Oh, super.
Personality totally is not weighing in on our decision.
Yeah, no way. I put Casey Neistat in A tier. That is
Hey,
evidence that personality is.
That's true. Well, I was going to say, I'm just going to contradict everything I said because normally I would rank Scruffy lower, but Peter's got that pirate vibe, tattooed guy, aesthetic. And it just works, man.
Yeah.
It works really good. He's got like the gray hairs sprinkled in.
Yeah.
it's art.
I think
Well,
it's
not.
inspiring. I think it's inspiring in the sense that I think his personality fills the gaps in his beard in.
Yeah.
And that's
totally.
beautiful. And that to me is S tier material.
Wow, okay. I was going to say B.
Oh.
Maybe because I already know who my S tier is and so I'm saving it.
Oh, if it's probably, yeah, okay. Yeah, I think I just think it's inspirational. I think it's groundbreaking.
But S tier?
Yeah, okay, it's my same thing with Casey Neistat. It's like, okay, maybe the facial hair isn't as good as it could be, but just the way it moves you, you know what I mean? Like Casey Neistat's beard like moved me when I saw it. When I see Pete's and I say there's a scratchy beard that appears full because of his personality and his optimism, then that moves me. You know what I mean?
All right.
When I see the next contender, Matt Diavella's beard, I just think, oh, there's another perfect part of the world's most perfect guy. And it doesn't move me. It's just like it blends in. It's like well, that's a bad analogy.
Wait, whose doesn't move you?
Matt Diavella's.
Oh, man. All right, things just got interesting. Peter McKinnon, S tier. I just realized we're like 40 minutes into this podcast. I haven't even talked about the main topics. We're just talking about YouTuber facial hair. But that's okay. I'm into it because now you've just thrown a wrench in the system and said that Matt Diavella's facial hair is uninspiring.
Yeah.
Let me tell you about the greatest shot on all of YouTube.
Okay.
And you already know what shot it is.
I think I do, actually, yeah.
It's Matt Diavella sprinting down the street, eating a cheeseburger with the most beautiful, thick, black mustache.
Yeah.
That's
But
the greatest shot on all of YouTube.
That's true, but he doesn't rock the mustache. He always talks bad about the mustache. He's always like, "Oh, I want to shave the mustache."
Yeah. That's why you like Casey's facial hair.
No. It's not why I like Casey's facial hair. Because Casey,
the scarcity.
Oh my gosh. When Casey has a beard, though, it literally feels like he forgot to shave. Like, it feels like something's happening. Like, there's some tectonic shift in the world that is unstoppable. When Matt Diavella has a mustache, it feels like he's doing a kooky little goofy gimmick for just like, oh, look how kooky and goofy it is. It's November. And it's not the same thing. One is curated.
Listen, I get what you're saying, but even if the backstory isn't your favorite, you gotta respect the fact that it's just the perfect mustache. No human has a better mustache than Matt Diavella.
No, I was kidding. Well, I just think our rating systems are so different because I have Peter McKinnon in S tier and Casey Neistat in A tier. So by my standards, it's like Mr. Beast saying that he makes the best videos. It's like maybe to him he does, but to the rest of us, he just makes annoying stuff. But it's like I agree that as far as what's the word I'm looking for? Aesthetic goes, he has the best facial hair, not only of anyone in the tier list, he has the best facial hair of anyone in the world. And so if you're rating it that way, of course his mustache wins out. But if you're rating it by my standards, it's so sterile, dude. Like,
we're
just
rating it by
it's just
you have to weigh in all the factors.
Yeah, you have to weigh in all the factors. And I just think Matt Diavella is way too perfect. And if I can take anything from that, man.
He can't keep getting away with it.
He can't keep getting away with it. So yeah, probably if I boil all this down, it's just I'm insecure and I don't want to tear him down. Yeah.
We gotta take something from
Yeah.
Then
I was gonna give him A tier because I do think it weighs in heavily that it's the perfect beard and the perfect mustache and everything, but it still just doesn't have any emotion tied to it. It's just like sterile.
Well,
too sterile.
Hear me out.
Okay.
Hear me out. You were going to give Peter an S. I gave him an A. So we gave him S. Mattiavella, I was going to give him S. You're going to give him A. So we Rochambeau to see what he gets.
All right, okay, that's fair. And then
Okay.
narrated for the listeners. 1, 2,
2, 3.
rock.
Shoot.
What?
Oh, also rock. Okay.
Okay. 1, 2,
2,
3, scissors.
Shoot. Yeah.
No! I feel like
rock.
there was such a
Sorry for
huge gap.
users.
There was such a huge gap between what you said and what I said. I said scissors like
Dude.
an eon before you said.
I felt the same for
And
me.
you
It felt
said
like you had a gap.
Oh, really?
I said shoot instead of rock, but I swear on Mattiavella's life, I threw a rock all along.
Okay, well.
So that means Mattiavella S tier because I won the Rochambeau and because he has the best
Can you do
facial
Can you
hair.
do 8.5?
8.5. Listen, sometimes in life,
Don't give me this. Yes, Dad. Go on.
I'll save my anecdote for another day.
All right.
So okay, what do we got? 2 more?
Yeah, and actually, I think, yeah, we got to be a little more negative. I just think because right now, like everyone's in the A and the S tier except Jake and Logan Paul.
Yeah.
So
we
whoever's
really-
next, I'm just tearing them down. Wait, you said you thought you had someone for F tier? No, that was for S tier, huh?
Yeah. I can't think of anyone else with facial hair.
Well, I'm on the list.
Oh, Shaffer Nickel.
Mm-hmm.
Man,
You got to be honest.
it's too late. I was already honest at the opening of this episode. It's beautiful.
But you got to. I think it's a solid. If I'm honest right now, where I'm at, because it's still a work in progress, you know. Like it's gotten better every week, and I think now is the first week of it being all right. And I think there's hope. I think my facial structure is not really one that maybe complements the shape and form and flow of a mustache. And I think so that doesn't help. I think I have a big gap in the middle. That doesn't help. I think it's not grown out quite as long as I want it to be. That doesn't help.
I think the gap in the middle is a plus. It's kind of like the tooth gap being aesthetic, you know? I think the mustache gap is in, you know?
I don't know about that. So I think mine is like generous. If I'm being generous, it's a C tier. That's how I feel.
I think
And also, okay, well, really quick, and that was all based on purely aesthetic. I also don't think it's inspiring anybody. Which is what I heavily grade this at.
I cannot believe we're talking about how inspiring
This was
facial hair
all a
is.
backdoor to talk about how inspiring my mustache is.
You're just like, all right, hit me with it. How inspiring is my facial hair? I think. Listen, I know you said we gotta be negative,
Uh-huh.
but every time I see Shaffer in a new form, it's kind of like starting the new chapter of a book. Like, you know how you get so excited, like when you see that page that doesn't finish the whole page because, like, oh, a new chapter's about to start. That's kind of how it feels. It's like, oh, we got new stuff on the horizon. so for that
you
reason,
would say that it maybe
I would say it's
that it maybe what's the word?
I would say it indicates it indicates to my being that artwork from Shaffer might shift my inner feelings.
I'll take it.
Yeah, it's inspiring.
Wow. Oh man.
So yeah, C plus.
Sweet. Okay, this was all just this big elaborate sociological experiment to get if I could get you to say that my mustache is inspiring, and I did it.
Listen, I was gonna give you S tier, but you're like, whoever's next, we just gotta shit on, and so now I'm feeling bad about wanting to give you S tier.
Yeah.
Because
You gotta.
Yeah. I can't just be endlessly positive. So okay, F tier, Shaffer nickel. Perfect.
Yeah, I think it's just like, oh, you know what's the best way to describe it? When our friend that we work with at Fox, Pascal, when he got a mustache, it felt like he became who he was meant to be all along. It felt like he was just like on this journey and he finally arrived. Me, I feel like I'm a mustache tourist. And I feel like even when you look at it, you can tell I'm like stopping and I'm seeing the sights and I'm snapping the most basic picture of it possible, and then inevitably that's not where I'm gonna live. You know what I mean? I'm still looking.
I think that's fair. Yeah. It's not like you were born to have this.
Yeah.
It's a good little chapter.
Exactly. Yeah. Which is why I just think it can't be in any tier higher than like C or B. Like I just think it.
No. Yeah, you're F. We already decided.
Oh yeah, that's right. I'm F. That makes sense. That adds up.
Yeah, I already said that. Yeah. Whoever's after, if you're following Matt Diavella, you're gonna be F tier regardless.
Yeah, by your standards. That's just like your opinion, man.
This can't be about opinions. This is a very scientific tier list.
Yeah, it's about inspiration. So the title of this segment is Inspirational YouTuber Facial Hair Tier List.
Yeah.
And inspirational doesn't describe the YouTuber, it describes the facial hair.
Right, of course. Naturally.
So that I feel like that kind of concludes it, unless you want to add anyone else to the pot, but
no, I feel like we talked about every YouTuber with facial hair, and we perfectly analyzed it and broke it down. So you're welcome, everybody.
Good. Everybody.
Everybody.
Sweet, dude. Well, that was what I had planned. So,
wow,
take it away.
That was a great chapter. Well, there's a lot to talk about, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, true.
So, before we talk about a lot, let's get Shaffer's inspirational pick of the week.
Okay. Do you want to do it? 'Cause I feel like I've been talking a lot. You sure you don't want to? You don't want to do a quick solo?
Quick solo, just to have
Just to balance it out.
Quick Jake rant. Well, all right, sure. We'll end on Shaffer's pick.
Okay.
And before we get to, we'll keep people waiting because Shaffer's pick is gold.
Yeah.
So
yeah. This one I feel like this week's is less widely applicable. Like I feel like a lot of people won't like it, but I feel like you'll appreciate it.
Oh, I was gonna say that means I'll love it.
Yeah, I think you will. I think you will.
It was a big week for social media.
Good. So when you're listening to this, just know in retrospect, weeks and weeks and weeks ago,
there was a big week. Yeah. Now that it's 2023 and none of this matters anymore.
Yeah.
Damn it, you're right. So basically none of this is important.
No, it is. Currently, it's still good.
Currently, they're talking again about banning TikTok in the US.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, some other guy, I don't know. I saw some news on it. I classically didn't pay that much attention to it, but it is back in conversation of banning TikTok because of the amount of data it puts in a Chinese company's hands, yada yada. You know the deal.
Yeah.
But the point being, last week we were like, we should talk about Instagram in the next episode. And I just thought it was so interesting that TikTok now is talking about being banned in the US. Instagram is still being Instagram, but also now Elon just became the CEO or whatever. He bought Twitter. He's the Twitter guy now.
Yeah.
And I don't know if this is true or a rumor or not. It might just be a rumor, but supposedly he was talking with Logan Paul about trying to revive Vine since Twitter
I did hear about this,
Vine or something. So like maybe Twitter is entering this vertical video disaster. So I don't know what the point is other than I'm seeing all this happen and I'm just like so over that type of video,
dude,
that it's oddly reassuring just having YouTube videos and being like, I get to just keep making YouTube videos. Meanwhile, the vertical video space is just this absolute shit show.
Yeah, dude, I actually am excited to talk about this because I had a surprising similar feeling recently. Well, I don't know how I had a surprising similar feeling to Elon buying Twitter and talking to Logan Paul, but I had a surprisingly similar feeling to you where I never use TikTok. It just doesn't really interest me, and which I'm sure makes them so mad because it's designed to interest me. But dude, I just felt like, and I think maybe probably because I don't watch that type of video, I have this opinion. But dude, I just felt like it started to feel like the back end of a trend cycle, similarly to how NFTs were like. Everyone was like, it's the future, it's everything, you have to be doing it. And then there was the crash, and then now people basically don't even talk about them anymore. I had a feeling similar where it's like, you had that like horribly annoying TikTok voice, and then just like the format, and the format has become a cliche just in general, like hooking someone in, and then like, I know exactly when the punchline is coming, I know exactly, like it's just like so predictable now. And I really, for the first time, felt like, this is not the future. This isn't the future.
Yeah, dude, it's like, I don't know, it's cliche to say at this point, but it is truly just the junk food of video. Like, and it's so wild because, you know, we've talked about YouTube videos that impact you and inspire you and even like actually change your life. I could be scrolling TikTok for an hour and not tell you a single thing I just watched 5 minutes after I'm done.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't stick with you, it doesn't impact you. And yeah, man, I hope it's at the end of a pendulum shift, like you're saying. And even if it's just culturally we recognize how not good it is for us. I don't know, that's so difficult, and that's part of this conversation when like it's literally designed to just hook you in and addict you. But man, does it feel so much better when you intentionally choose to watch things like with an intention, like with the goal to learn something or experience art, or I don't know.
Yeah, or even laugh or whatever. Yeah.
It just starts to feel so gross just being spoon-fed content rather than like choosing what you want to watch.
Yeah,
I don't
it
know.
feels like your brain is being violated. It's like this like algorithm is telling you what your interests are, which is just so unappealing to me and always has been. And you know, whether or not what I just said, like, oh, this is not the future, whatever, it's just like it's solidified the fact that it's not the future for me. I'm uninterested in it. And I have a bunch of friends who are like maybe in the photo world, or they're maybe in the like whatever, and they're all doing this thing, and not to put any of them down, it's just the way it is, but like they're all doing this thing where they realize Instagram is dying, so they have to start making like short form videos, and so they're sort of like transitioning what they do into short form videos, and it is just so much less substance than it was when they were just doing what they loved in the first place. And it just is a bummer to watch people have to make this shift. And I guess all I'm saying is, you know, you don't have to make that shift. You probably won't get as much attention as you would have like in the short term from it. But in the long term, I just think it's going to be better for you to avoid. It's going to be better. Dude, I don't know. It just is a huge bummer. Like, it just always makes you feel bummed out.
Yeah, and it's weird, like, it's weird thinking about how new it actually still is, because it just feels so like core. Like I totally understand why those people feel that need of like, okay, this is it, this is everything, I have to switch and do this thing. But God, it was only like what, 2018 that Jesse Driftwood was making his Instagram stories, and that was this like mind-blowing short form vertical video thing that nobody was doing.
Yeah.
And like, so I guess my point is it is still new, and even though it can feel like everything, like it's just not. And I think it still is gonna shift and evolve, and what is gonna stand out is the people that like find new impactful ways to do it, not just this exact same format and voiceover voice trend thing over and over.
Dude, check this out. I hope this is maybe a story of foreshadowing, but take Jesse as an example, okay? Back in the Dizzy, he essentially had an embargo on short form content. Like, he was capitalizing on what would become TikTok, and he didn't even know he was doing it, and yet everyone was losing their minds for it. And I would love to know what his most viewed Instagram story was, because it was probably ludicrous. I mean, like, here's a guy that literally not only saw like the power of short form content, but like almost invented the power of short form content, or if not invented, at least like he at least experienced it at a level that no one ever had at that time. And he ditched it and is on YouTube. For him, it was a building block into longer content.
Yeah.
And, you know, he hasn't ditched it, but it's like, do you think of Jesse now as an Instagram story guy, or do you think of him as a, you know, like filmmaker, YouTube guy? And I think of him way more as a YouTube guy now than whatever the Instagram. And I just think like maybe that's foreshadowing. It's just a sense of like people get this massive dopamine hit that really has very little like value or like very little like long-term impact. And, you know, in Jesse's case, that's probably because they go away in 24 hours. But then you experience something like YouTube, where it's like you build a community and you meet people and you're able to like actually fully explore your thoughts. And like, I think as a creative person, when you finally get a taste of that, you're like, oh, I don't want to waste my time with these tiny little dopamine hits. But yeah,
totally. And it's almost like for that reason, I mean, he's always been so ridiculously talented, but it's like that, what am I trying to say? Like that ability to make the short form video has made his long form just that much better, because it does have this whole like, it has this crazy intro that just is like captivating, but then it like draws you into this longer form. I don't know what I'm trying to say, other than it's like, it's just so beautiful how that was a building block, but not everything. Like it's not just the sole purpose. The dopamine hits.
Totally. Dude, you know how we always talk about how Colin and Samir only ever talk about Mr. Beast? Jesse Driftwood is our Mr. Beast.
I was just about to say, he's the North Star.
Yes, he really is. Dude, when he followed me on Instagram, subtle flex. Literally, I think about everything I post through the lens of, I wonder what Jesse will think.
Man, yeah. His opinion's the only one that matters.
It is. It literally is.
I get it. Dude, that's so funny you say that, because that literally has become my thought in everything I make now, but with you. Like you now,
really?
You are the person on my mind. Every time I make something, I'm just like, oh no. Would Shaffer think this was cool, or would he think this is dumb? Like, I think about that so much now, and it's so, dude, I don't know.
If it's dumb,
helped me a lot.
If it's dumb, I'll tell you.
Yeah, I know.
And I don't think I've told you very often. Ever, maybe.
No.
Dude, I love your videos. I wouldn't be doing this if I didn't love your videos.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that you you shit on everything, even if you love it. Like,
it's not a good habit.
It is a good thing. It is a good thing, because well, yeah, the point is, I'm glad that I have your.
I
don't
love
know
you
what I'm
too,
saying.
dude. I know what you're saying between the lines.
Yeah, I love you. That's what I was saying.
Aw.
Oh man. What are we talking about? Oh yeah. Shaffer's pick of the week.
Yes. Yes, okay. And then we'll, in post, once we have an audience in the future, and the remastered version of this podcast will add the 10-year anniversary intro. So that look forward to that. But my pick of the week this week. Okay, let me set up the problem that this video solves. Okay.
Ooh, okay.
So the problem is maybe a world that I'm more in than you are, but well, actually no, that's not true. Never mind. Because ski movies. Okay, let me just say ski movies. First thing I say when you think of ski movies, what do you think of?
Like MSP and Sherpa films.
Yeah, but even more broad than that. Like, or let's do snowboard movies. Snowboard movies. What do you think of?
A half-hour long video with different pro riders' parts in the streets and the backcountry.
Yeah, and I think something that for me, and maybe it's just because I'm the more cynical of the two of us, the thing that I think of is just like the same looking dudes hitting the same rails, doing the same tricks over and over and over with the same songs, and then they have like the little like silly animations like halfway through, and they have like the rider intros, and it's just like I mean, if you think like YouTube and like viewer retention has become a cliche format. Like the format of a snowboard movie is like
such a
so
recipe.
Unbelievably, it's just like impossible to break out of. Now you would think that my pick of the week is something that breaks out of that recipe, and it's not. It's something that's in the same sphere. They play by all the same rules, and yet it's so much more enjoyable. And that's because it's a snow skate movie. There's a new snow skate movie. I think that's called Bleached by Ambition Snow Skates. And the thing that I love about it is it's like the same thing as all these snowboard movies, right? It's like handrails, it's tricks and everything. But it is a sport that no one cares about. Like nobody cares about snow skating. And most of it happens like in the Midwest. And there are some clips in like Russia and stuff. But it's mostly just like, it's just guys being dudes doing a sport no one cares about at all, like absolutely putting their lives on the line, doing what is becoming like extremely like stuntman-esque things just for the love of it. And I feel like in snowboarding, it's gotten to the point where people do it just for snowboarding. They do it because like, you know, it's like whether it be for the video or for the sponsors or for whatever, it's like, here's the format. We're going to follow the format. I'm going to do this trick in my part.
It's a bit soulless.
It's a little bit soulless. And this video takes everything that made the early version of those videos, what made it so good, and just completely revitalizes it. And it's because like snow skating is so weird. And the other thing that's really impressive is it's gotten to a point now where snow skating is almost as impressive as street skating. Like the tricks they're doing are not easy. Yeah. And you have you have the added factor of like, if you're in the Midwest, like it's crazy cold out. You know, it's like icy and slippery and miserable. And these boys and these girls, they're just out there, just doing it.
That's awesome.
Just for the freaking love of it. And it is such a good movie. I couldn't turn it off. I literally couldn't turn it off. It was so good.
And is it like a full, like a...
Yeah, it's
like
on
a
YouTube.
Full half hour or whatever? Mm-hmm. Damn.
Yeah.
Wow, okay. It's called what? Ambition
I think it's called
by
Bleached by... it's called Bleached by Ambition, I think. I'm pretty sure.
Sick.
But it was just heartwarming. It just reminded me of like going out and playing in the snow with your friends, not for anything other than the sake of just like, I love doing this.
That's so sick. And I can't remember if we were talking about this on the podcast or just you and me, but it feels similar to this revival of skate vlogs where it's just a video of dudes skating with their friends, and it's not the craziest parts, it's not like next level, it's just so much more pure and fun to watch.
Yep, and you can just feel the fact that they love it through the screen.
Yeah,
you know?
That's sick.
Yeah,
I'm definitely gonna watch that. Not that this is I don't get a pick of the week, but I still have to throw these out there because you need to watch. No. I just have to throw these out because they're inspired by Shaffer's pick of the week.
Okay, we'll have a 10th anniversary intro where it says inspired by Shaffer's
Inspired by Shaffer's mustache and his pick of the week.
Okay, good.
I watched a recreation of Rodney Mullen's part in Almost Round 3 on a fingerboard. It was a perfect trick-for-trick recreation of Rodney Mullen doing kickflip, underflip, primo slide on a fingerboard.
I thought you were going to say it's a Johnny Geiger video.
No.
Wow.
It was beautiful. It had like 120 views, and it was recommended to me on YouTube. And it was sick. I'll send it to you.
Okay, sweet. In the show notes.
Yeah, that'll be in the show notes. As well as whatever the name of that Scott Stevens video we watched where...
Susie Greenberg 270.
Yeah. Where he's like meeting back up with all of the old Think Tank crew.
Yep.
And, like,
I said that to my hypercore snowboard movie friend who knows every snowboard movie ever, and he was like, I can't believe you haven't seen this. This is the best snowboard movie ever made.
Yeah, talk about a snowboard movie that actually has soul.
Yeah.
And even though it still was it wasn't even really like a part by part video. It was just this adventure of like getting the gang back together.
It was very much like it had like Goonies vibes.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I hate the Goonies, but yeah, I totally...
You don't hate the Goonies? There's no way.
Yeah, no, that's an old inside joke.
Yeah, that is an old inside joke. Did you ever watch it?
Yeah.
Oh, do you still hate him?
No, I love the Goonies.
Okay, that's what I thought.
I don't even remember why that was an inside joke. You were just convinced that I hated the Goonies.
Okay.
I don't remember why.
Right. I actually do remember that. I don't remember why either, though. But yeah.
But yeah, that was. We dived into some niche topics on this one. I liked it.
Yeah, we did.
Hopefully this finds the right people that like old snowboard videos. Inspirational mustaches, and
doesn't like Casey Neistat that much.
Exactly. Hope we found our people.
That I feel like would be the ultimate episode if we could get Casey Neistat on and just have me just talk to him.
I can't even picture what that would be like. That would be so weird.
Dude,
I feel like he would walk off because he would feel like you were wasting his time and you would just be kind of half trolling him the whole time. And then he would realize that he has better things to do than be on our garbage podcast.
Yeah, and then he'd do the snobby thing. Typical Casey will walk off the podcast.
Did you see his Halloween video in New York City?
I saw the thumbnail.
Oh my god.
Is it awesome?
Dude, I've never more wanted to be in a YouTube video. Like while watching it, just being like, I want to be there right now so bad.
Well, you got FOMO.
Oh man. Yeah. If you don't want to move to New York City with me after watching that, something's wrong with you.
All right, I'll give it a go. But I think that's maybe a bold assumption about what I value and look forward to in a night out.
Shoot. You're right. Never mind. Forget I said anything. Don't even watch that video.
Well, that's a nice little transition. Breakfast Around the World may or may not be going to NYC sometime in December.
Yeah.
We got a super loose idea planned, which is just maybe we should go.
You sent one text that said, "Hey,
NYC?
I got flight miles I gotta use. Should we go to New York?" And I said, "Yeah, let's do it."
So maybe we could get someone on the podcast out there, eh?
Yeah. Ooh, yeah. Let's get a guest star.
Casey Neistat, I'm telling you.
Well, you got any closing words of wisdom for the people out there?
Oh, good question. I would say there's nothing wrong with eating tofu on Thanksgiving if you're a vegetarian. I would tell people Subway's not a good restaurant. It may seem good based on all the options and the fact that you can have it your way, but it's not good.
Isn't that Burger King's slogan?
So, well, no way.
Oh,
Wait, yeah, it's Eat Fresh. That's Subway.
who's have it your way? Is that Burger King?
I think so. Have it your way. I think it is. Burger
That
King's
wouldn't
not,
make sense.
Burger King's better than Subway.
Yeah, dude. I didn't realize we had that shared passion, but I hate Subway.
Yeah, it's so
It's
bad.
the most garbage.
One time, Jake and I were stuck in an airport in must have been DC.
DC.
And the only restaurant was a Subway, and both of us were like, I feel like both of us were like, am I just gonna not eat?
Dude, I would rather eat any other fast food than Subway.
Yeah, so I think that's probably
explain.
Yeah, it's horrible, and so I think
It
that
makes
would be
you
my
feel
advice.
so gross.
That would be my
Yeah.
advice: is don't eat at Subway. It's not fresh.
Yeah, don't eat at Subway. And hey, if you want to be inspired, just take a look at Shaffer's mustache.
Boom, done.
It'll give you the answers you need.
Yeah, you're welcome. But just remember, it's got a little bit of scarcity there too. It won't be around forever. One day you'll be at the mustache pit stop, looking around saying, "Where's Shaffer?" And all you'll see is tire tracks on the road.
For some reason I thought you were gonna say all you can see is shaved hairs on the ground.
Oh, that would have made more sense.
But I'd much rather picture tire tracks than shaved mustache hairs.
Yeah, because I did a burnout and got the hell out of there.
Oh god. This is going downhill fast. Oh, thanks everyone that listened to this podcast that doesn't exist, and
Can't wait
we'll
to
see
meet
ya.
you. It's kind of like thinking about how you could have a kid someday, and you're like, can't wait to meet you.
I'm not doing that ever.
Can't wait to play ball with you.
Oh man.
Anyway.
Last week I was saying I don't know how to start podcasts. This week I don't know how to end them.
Dude,
How do we make this nightmare stop?
I don't know.
Just kidding. This was great.
Yeah.
I love you, Shafe.
Love me too, Jake. And I'm not afraid to say it.
All right.
Oh, wait, one last thing. What happened to your arm?
I covered my arms in temporary tattoos for Halloween.
For Halloween,
and
yeah,
now
that
there's
makes
just like black gunk all
That makes
over
sense.
me.
Okay, sweet. Okay, that's all I needed to know. All right.
That was your one last thing?
I needed to know.
You were like, wait, one last thing.
That's it. That's all I needed.
What happened to your arms?
I feel like if it wasn't addressed, I was going to be curious.
Oh, okay. For everyone wondering, that's why.
Thank you.